It's an election.
Hey, Mark. It's Mark.
Special guest speaker.
Improv.
Now we have background music.
Yes.
Oh, and background music. Sorry, I'll get on that right now.
Well, I guess we can do it.
We should have it in surround sound.
Okay.
Yeah, how much do those usually run?
It varies, 300 to 400.
We'll throw that out there. Yeah, that's what we did before. All right, well, I'll talk in my normal voice, so everybody can, unless you would rather I talk like this for an hour. Okay, welcome everybody to a long-expected party out of Throw convention of your very own in your backyard with only 2 5-gallon buckets and a kitchen fly, but we're going to discuss our event, which we threw last year, which was a long-expected party, and it was in Shaker Village in central Kentucky. And it was basically an experiment that we wanted to do. So there's a lot of passion behind it. We didn't see anybody else doing anything quite like this. And just like Peter Jackson did with the, can everybody hear me? Yeah. And just like Peter Jackson did with his movies, we waited for somebody to throw one and had pretty good visions of what we would like out of something like that. And we never saw it, and we probably never would, so we did one ourselves. It's that simple. Well, we'll get this off. The first, the nucleus of this party was that we had been to enough conventions that we were getting the general feel and what they were offering, which was great, but we were looking for something a little more that, to their defense, would be impossible to do in this setting. There's things they can do here that we wouldn't have been able to do in the setting that we chose. But then we said, well, I wonder if we can combine the two. So it was actually Daniel Gauthier that originally came up with the actual spoken concept of, let's have our own event and throw it. We'd never done it. We had no idea what was involved with it. But, we kind of threw around some ideas. And it was he who couldn't be here, unfortunately, today. He's the Frodo. I guess you guys all know it, Daniel probably. And he started scouting around for some locations, and he came up with one in Vermont. And he took some pictures and got some information for us. But the more we looked into it, it just didn't really pan out. The location wasn't really good. It didn't offer what we were looking for. We needed somewhere that had the facilities for at least a small convention. And before you do any convention, the first thing you have to have is passion. Anything you do, music, teaching, it doesn't matter what you do, you have to have the passion behind it. Because if you don't, that won't go out into the people that you're speaking to, and it won't be believable, and it will fail. But the most important thing beyond that is the location. You need to know where you can have, welcome. Okay, we're going to start over again. Every single person. The next thing you need to have is a location, because you need to have a place. You have to have an idea of what you want, and then which place is best suited for it, which offers the most facilities and things that are handy, which was kind of what KO'd the one in Vermont. It just didn't have the things we needed. And so we got looking around. Me and Bilbo here grew up pretty close together in the same county. There happened to be a place called Shaker Village. That was about 7 miles from where we grew up at. it was a utopian society that the Civil War killed, basically.
Sometimes they do that when there's no call. They just do it because they're up there.
They're
They
just
pick up
being
something.
mean.
I don't know.
Just being mean. But at any rate, the Shakers left. It fell into ruin. Basically, bums and vagabonds lived in there for a long time. 68, the state road went right through it. And then eventually, a nonprofit society came along. They really rebuilt it up, and they built it to the time period of around the Civil War. So it was as modern, it's stopped in time. If you go to Shaker Village, that's what it looked like at its, before it started declining. And we always thought it looked like the Shire. Any of you that's been there, you know what I'm talking about. Gently rolling hills, just enough woods to make it interesting, streams. And we never really thought much about it because we grew up around it. So, if we had discovered it later in years, it would have been, oh my God, this is perfect. But, it's just like, it's just Shaker Town. And we went out there and looked at it with this in mind and realized it would be perfect. Now, it is a themed village, so the next thing to do is we approached them, and we got a good game plan of what we wanted, so we had something to present. We had a package and something that was more or less professional looking, and we went out there and presented that to them, and we were honest with them what we wanted to do, our intentions, and we didn't know if they would go for it or not, because that's taking over the village. It's in one of their busier time of the years, and we went out there, we made our presentation. They went for it. She talked it over with everybody else. They said, yeah, we'll do it. They'd never done anything like this before. And they said, what will you need? We'll send the whole village, which nobody had ever done that before. And that's what we did. We took over the whole village. After that, for throwing your convention, you have to think of food. That was an easy one. Shaker Village catered the whole thing. They insisted on it. You have to think of transportation. That's easy. You just look around the area. And the nearest airport was in Lexington, so that included, you had to get a bus to ferry people back and forth. That was easy enough. And then all the extra stuff, you just basically, all the things you need, you figure out if you can do them. We had a lot of things planned for this party we couldn't do, just because we never could really find anybody that would do it, or they had restrictions with a lot. Fireworks show was one of them. We tried very, very hard to get fireworks, everything we could. Everything we could.
Neighboring farms.
Yeah. Asking the fire officials to look the other way, which they more or less gave their blessings on. But drought conditions came along, and you couldn't even light a cigarette hardly without.
This was Kentucky last year at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, it's this color.